We are back after what I can only describe as a 10 out of 10 break.
Oh yeah, easily.
Agree?
10. Yeah, 10 out of 10.
We emptied our bladders and bowels and then immediately refilled them.
Yep.
We watched the aforementioned RVD versus Sabu ladder match in 240p on YouTube. It's from August 16th, 2006, for anyone who wanted to know. For anyone who doesn't know what we're talking about, that means you're listening to episode 20.5 without listening to episode 20, so
0.0.
You're probably kind of a dummy, and we don't want you as a listener, so stop right now.
Yeah, fuck off, Brock.
Anyone who is not a dummy, but made an honest mistake, and clicked on 20.5 first, go listen to 20. It's the first part of what has become a bonus. You echo the B's and the S's. A lot of people cheap out and only go bonus, but it's bonus. Credit to Alex McConnell on that one, and by that I mean he also says it, and we both stole it from Scott Ackerman. But yeah, this has become a super show, supersized me type episode where in between the first and second parts we went and ate McDonald's every meal for 30 days. And we do not feel good.
Nope.
But
I'm pooping right now.
We persevere. Yeah, we're just sitting on buckets. We persevere and continue this for your listening pleasure. We are running through the and debating the better runs for a number of prominent professional wrestlers and which run or time period of theirs was the superior one. We have thus far run through one Christopher Jericho, one apparently I have a lot of short-term memory loss. All I got is Chris Jericho. What else do we do?
Edward Guerrero.
One Eduardo Guerrero. And one, who's that other guy? The one who did the thing. You know what I'm talking about. Come on. Who's the guy?
No, I just want you to struggle. This is pretty funny.
Don't do this to me.
Robert Van Dam.
Robert Van Dam of the aforementioned 5-star ladder match with Sabu in 2006. So we run through those. We've come to a pretty good consensus on those three, but I feel like the next one is going to tear us apart. I don't even know who the next one is. I just feel like this is
the one.
This is Where I Leave You, starring Jason Bateman.
Sure.
Okay. What's happening? Who do we got?
The next
Who's on the
one
docket?
is future UFC welterweight champion.
Future UFC 0-1 record.
Phillip Brooks.
Phil. Is he gonna wrestle as CM Punk in UFC?
Yep. Oh yeah, he's fighting as CM Punk.
And when I say wrestle, no, I guess I mean wrestle. He's probably gonna wrestle in UFC and not fight.
Yeah.
From what his training looks like, it seems more like wrestling than fighting.
He's gonna wrestle.
Yeah, because he has rights to it, because he had CM Punk long before.
Yep.
Interesting. Well, good for him. I guess if someone named Cyborg can fight, then someone named CM Punk can fight.
Or Kimbo Slice.
That's his real name.
Sure.
It's a fact. Look it up. Oh, you can't. He's dead. And all his records were sealed. I don't know what my line of logic was on that.
You had no logic in that one. You confused yourself.
I did. Ugh. So Phil Brooks. So we're talking about whether his wrestling run was better or his MMA run was better? Because I think it's a toss-up.
The answer's MMA.
The answer's MMA.
0-1 is a good record.
Yeah. And by the way, for anyone who listens to this in the future and not right when we put it out, he hasn't fought yet. We just know because we're sensible human beings.
Because I've watched him training.
Yeah. And
also, he's old and has no experience.
How much money should we put against him? Like all of our savings?
I think he's like a plus 330.
Well, that's not bad.
I think.
So.
But the other guy's also a nobody. Mickey Gall's not a name fighter.
However, Mickey Gall is
Mickey
Gall is a professional fighter.
And he's 2-0.
So. He's 2-0, which is 2 more, soon to be 3 more than CM Punk will ever have.
Yeah.
So
One fight, get fired, and then go back to wrestling, I guess?
I don't know. So if Phil is plus 330, then Gall is going to be like minus.
He's only plus 265.
That ain't bad. So what's Gall minus?
Minus 325.
So we bet $325 to make 100.
Mm-hmm.
So if we bet 32,500, we make 10,000.
Mm.
I think there are worse ways to make $10,000.
Mm.
Let's do it.
Mm.
I have $500. Do you have 32,000?
Mm-hmm.
Good. We're set. And then we split it 50-50.
Yeah.
All right. It's a deal. Verbal contract binding.
It's recorded. You have to do it.
Yep. Then I'm going to mail this to myself and copyright it. That doesn't work, by the way.
Sure.
That's not a thing. I don't know why people always say that. I'm going to mail that to myself. It's not real. Anyway, CM Punk. WWE and not WWE, I believe, are the two.
Billed as
things.
Punk.
I love that the official UFC site has the fight billed as M Gall versus C Punk.
Yeah.
By the way, if you
Cookie Monster Punk.
if you go by what the initials technically stand for, M Gall versus C Punk, you have Mickey Gall versus Chick Punk.
Chick Punk.
Because CM is Chick Magnet.
Faggot.
Yeah.
I like Cookie Monster better.
It is better. Or Cock Monster.
Yeah.
Which has come up also. But
Ew,
to be fair, even though he's like kind of a gross looking dude, he fucking is a chick magnet.
Yep.
He's fucked every hot girl in wrestling.
Every independent person and Lita.
Yeah. And I guess all I can figure, because he's not like, especially because like wrestling is so cosmetic. There's like a lot of good-looking dudes in wrestling that do not fuck as many hot girls as CM Punk. So as best I can figure, in what he has going for him in terms of the wrestling world is I'd say he's smarter than most people in wrestling.
Yes.
So I think he just finds a way to prey on their daddy issues.
Which
And-
most wrestling females
Well,
have.
exactly. It's kind of a gold mine.
Mm-hmm.
And then takes it from there.
Also, too, like, generally, he's kind of a piece of shit. Like,
Yeah.
he's got a really bad personality and a bad attitude.
Yeah.
And that attracts
That's true.
girls.
Yeah.
He's a typical a bad boy. He's a,
He's the baddest of the bad boys, Bad Boy Billy Taylor.
correct.
Old school backyarding reference.
Anyways,
So Punk.
so yes, pre-WWE and then WWE.
Punk debuted in the
Year of our Lord.
Midwest indie scene.
In the year
Pretty
of our Lord.
quickly going to IW Mid-South in, I want to say 98 was probably his debut year?
1999.
99. There you go.
Pussy.
That was close.
Debuted in Mid-South in 2000.
In Mid-South in 2000 was a staple there. He, Chris Hero, Colt Cabana, BJ Whitmer, Ace Steel all sort of made names for themselves at the same time there. Some taking that further than others. Obviously, BJ Whitmer being the standout.
Yes, BJ is the guy.
Blowjob Whitmer. Blowjob
How-
Whitmer and Cock Monster Punk.
How many times would you say he was IWA Mid-South Heavyweight Champion?
Whitmer?
No. Punk.
A couple. A few. You have the actual number.
I have it actually written down.
We're not just having a dumb guessing game with no answer. 4.
5.
Not bad.
Not bad. And he was a 2-time light
heavyweight?
heavyweight champion.
Yep.
He then proceeded to do his best work in Ring of Honor.
Yeah, debuted in Ring of Honor at the end of their first year in late 2002, along with Cole. I think they debuted against each other. I'm not positive, but they were very close to each other.
You should be positive because you have Tourette's.
I have Tourette's now.
Yep.
All right.
Oh, fuck. I totally forgot that he was in TNA as well.
Oh yeah, he was there for a hot minute, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was part of the Disciples of the New Church or whatever,
yeah.
and he feuded with Raven, and he had a match with Raven, and he was a team with Julio De Niro.
That's a weird team.
Oh, no, sorry. He was with Raven. They were called the Gathering. And they feuded with the Disciples of the New Church.
Oh, okay.
Yes. And they
And
also
Disciples
had
of the
Alexis
Church was
Lurie.
like Slash and
Yeah,
other
and
people.
Malice and
Was Slash Jimmy Dundee, or am I crazy?
Father
Ted.
James Mitchell.
Father Ted.
Father Ted.
Famous British television series.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot. Yeah, that Punk and Raven had simultaneous feuds going in ROH and TNA.
Mm-hmm.
That Punk Raven feud in ROH is like I think highly regarded. I don't know. At least a sort of big deal in the days of early-ish ROH, and I guess there were some good promos. I feel like there were 0 good matches.
I don't know, man. The older Raven got, the worse his matches got.
No, I'm not blaming Punk. I'm just saying that there wasn't a ton of great work going on wrestling-wise in that like year-long feud.
No.
I'll tell you what was good.
Raven's a garbage person.
Raven versus Shane Douglas in TNA.
Sure.
The grossest match of all time.
When Shane Douglas throws up mid-match.
Where Shane Douglas throws up and Raven has his hair shaved and then the top layer of his scalp shaved.
And Raven's also rocking like a solid C cup.
Raven has some sweet tits in that match.
Dim titties.
Yeah, that was good. But that's not about CM Punk. So then Punk carries along in ROH, has like the Raven feud is like a big part of 03. Then they get into the Second City Saints team. Him and Cabana start teaming regularly.
Yep.
They do some good stuff with the Briscoes. Then you get into the Punk versus Joe feud for the world title, including a 5-star rated 60-minute draw between the two.
Also apparently known as the Summer of Punk.
The original Summer of Punk.
Original Summer of Punk?
That was the next year.
That was
05.
04, 05 it says.
Yeah. So the deal with the first Summer of Punk was I never thought about that, but it does kind of mirror the WWE one. So yeah, because everyone knew he got signed while he was still ROH champion, and what was the deal? Oh no, Aries was the champion. Aries beat Joe.
Yeah.
And then Punk got signed, and everyone knew he got signed. And then he and Aries were having a big match for the title, and people thought it would be Punk's last match, and he would do a big thing, put Aries over.
I totally forgot about that.
And that'd be that. And then he wins the title,
Yeah.
and everyone's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, and then cuts a promo.
Says, fuck you guys. I think he signed his WWE contract, or in gimmick,
in the
on
ring.
top of the belt.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, what's going on? And then the deal was, like, he stuck around for, like, another 2-3 months and defended the title a few times. And then
Lost to BJ Whitmer.
his last weekend, it was a double shot. The first day was, like, this random 4-way. And the second day was a big match with Cabana. And everyone thought he would lose the title to Cabana on that second day. However, he randomly lost it the day before the 4-way to
James
Gibson. Yeah.
Woof.
Which
James Gibson.
was an interesting one.
The greatest Ring of Honor champion of all time.
He didn't do a lot. I really do like Jimmy Noble, though. Like, I'm a fan. Yeah.
Yeah, obviously.
And then the match like a month. Yeah, a month later, where Gibson lost the title to Danielson was awesome.
Yeah, but also remember the horrible 3-way that they had, where it was Gibson, Kendrick,
Oh, that does ring a bell.
Homicide, and everybody wanted Homicide to win, and Homicide was the first one eliminated.
Yes.
And the crowd booed the rest of the match.
I do remember that. I totally forgot about that until you mentioned it. But yeah. Yeah, that was a bummer.
That was pretty funny.
Yeah, but yeah, then the match with Danielson was great. Anyway, Punk. So there's your Punk indie run.
Yep.
And then he gets signed to WWE. He's in developmental for a bit. He plays a gangster for John Cena's WrestleMania entrance in Chicago, and he's really never heard from again. And I don't even know
that was
what
the end of his
I don't
career.
even know what the debate is here.
Then he won the OVW title, and then they started up ECW,
Yep.
which was his call-up.
Mm-hmm.
He did a bunch of stuff. He apparently wrestled against C.W. Anderson. That's just for some stupid reason this says in here.
He was going to wrestle Chris Benoit for the ECW title on June 24th, 2007. And then they had the match, and everything was great.
Mm-hmm. And it was the best match in the history of the rebranded ECW.
Yeah.
Sure.
Sure. So yeah, and then what was funny, because I think everyone figured, yeah, because why were they having, was Vince champion and he vacated, or did someone vacate? Because Benoit was never champion, so
Yeah,
I don't know if they were,
I feel like it
because I feel like it was for the vacate, and then it ended up being Punk Morrison, and Morrison won.
Yeah, which everybody was kind of shocked about.
Yeah, because everyone assumed Punk was, because like Benoit wasn't going to win. Benoit was there to put over Punk. But anyway, so at some point Punk won the ECW, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And
he
then,
was in fact ECW champion.
And then, pretty quickly, won Money in the Bank.
Yep.
And then the world title in the summer of 08.
Yep.
Yeah. Which, like, everyone was, like, pretty surprised at. And again, it was one of those things that we talked about where if there was one world title, he never would have won it.
Yeah,
But
no.
the advantage of 2 world titles is you get interesting people winning world titles.
Yeah.
And then he won Money in the Bank again.
Again.
In 2009.
2009.
And won the title again. And I remember he did some good stuff in 2009 in sort of that spring summer where it was like a 3-way feud with him, Edge, and Jeff Hardy.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was some good stuff there.
Yeah.
Like there's like a him Hardy TLC somewhere
Yes.
there, and yeah.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah. So that was fun stuff, and then where do we go from there?
Well, I feel like wasn't there like a period in time there where he like flip-flopped face heel
He did a lot.
face heel.
Yeah, because you got like your straight edge society business.
But I feel like before
he started
that,
face,
he started face.
and then I think he
Then he joined the New Breed in ECW.
Oh yeah,
But then he immediately turned on them and joined with the Originals.
right.
But then he was doing the singles thing, and then sort of turned heel because then he was feuding with Jeff.
Yeah,
And Jeff was like super babyface.
yeah, he was definitely heel for that.
But then I feel like he turned back face
I think
because
he turned back face and then turned heel for straight edge stuff.
Yeah, something like that. So he definitely did a lot of flip-flop
a lot
at the
of
beginning.
flip-flopping. Then had that excellent feud with Ray in 2010.
Yes.
Minus the WrestleMania match where they got 6 minutes.
Yeah, well,
Bullshit.
that'll happen.
But they had some great stuff in like the, kind of like May, June, maybe into July 2010. They had a bunch of good stuff.
Yeah,
So I remember there's that stretch, if you harken back to our part 1, there was like each year for a number of years there was like one awesome feud that sort of always seemed to happen in the middle of the year, because 08 was Jericho Shawn, 09 was Jericho Ray, and 2010 was Punk Ray.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and 11 was of all things Orton Christian.
Yep. Or
Yeah.
Christian.
And
The only reason Christian got the title.
yeah, and I think
There's 2 titles and somebody got hurt.
I think the streak stopped in 2012 because I don't remember like a big, good wrestling feud in the middle of 2012
Yeah, I don't know.
or prior to that in 2007. I think it was an 8, 9, 10, 11 situation. But hey, write in and tell us what we're forgetting. And write, written letter. None of this
In the mail.
None of this email horseshit.
Then he had the feud with... Oh, sorry, it was before that. He had the feud with the Taker.
Yes, in '09.
In '09.
Because I remember, yeah, because he was...
He was a champion. He lost the title. They did a bunch of rematches where Punk couldn't beat him.
Yeah.
Then there was a 4-way that was Taker, Punk, Ray, Batista?
Sure.
And that started the Ray and Punk,
Oh, yeah.
I think.
Yeah, I remember in that Punk Taker feud. It might have been the first year they did the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. Maybe they did the '08 as well. I don't know.
Maybe.
But it was one of the early years, and that was the year that it became apparent that doing a gimmick match pay-per-view at a designated time each year instead of when a feud called for it was real bad. Because the feud going on was Punk Taker, and Punk was the champion, and they had to do Punk Taker Hell in a Cell because it was the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. And they're like, how do we book ourselves out of this one? Well, I guess Taker has to win, and he did. And it was kind of weird.
Yeah.
Because, like, Taker didn't... It wasn't really time for Taker to win the title, but they couldn't find another way. I feel like Punk has been in a lot of awkwardly booked matches at Hell in a Cell.
Yeah.
Case in point, Ryback, when we get to that.
Oh, boy. Here is a... After he... Oh, God. I'm just reading through the results and shit.
Yeah.
So the feud with Ray culminated at WrestleMania in what was not a great match. Then they did a little bit more stuff, and then they did the hair versus mask.
Yes, that was a really good match.
That was a really good match. Punk got his head shaved.
Yeah, that was like May 2010.
Then he had the mask.
Yes.
Which was kind of cool looking, I think, actually.
Yep, it was.
Then at the Fatal 4-Way pay-per-view, which was one of the worst concepts for a pay-per-view they've ever had.
Man, they
really were just struggling to find things that worked.
I don't know if there's a major company worse at their job than WWE.
I agree.
Like any other company with like that.
Not even sport. Like
no.
Anything.
Yeah, no, like business, industry, anything. Yeah. Like any other company with that level of incompetence at that high level couldn't possibly survive. But wrestling exists in such like a vacuum that it doesn't matter. Yeah. It's so stupid.
You can have a pay-per-view where, like, every match is a gimmick, or every match has a stipulation, or every match is a 4-way.
God, I know it happened, but, like, I hadn't really thought about it, and I'd kind of forgotten it happened. God, it's just so fucking stupid. Fuck. I'm so mad. Anyway, continue. What happened to Fatal 4-Way? Do we care?
It was Mysterio, Big Show, Punk, and Jack Swagger in a 4-way.
Awesome.
That's garbage. Anyways, then they did the whole, like, Joey Mercury thing.
Right.
Then Mercury...
Was on drugs.
And so was that girl. And they both got fired. And then they split off, what's-his-face, Gallows. And then they did... something incredibly dumb. But it did lead to something really cool at one point, but, hey, Punk's faction is broken up now, and he's by himself, and we really have nothing for him to do.
I forgot they did this until you mentioned.
And like, oh, hey, the Nexus has gotten way too big, and we need to break them up into kind of two different factions, and, ooh, man, the faction without Wade Barrett doesn't really have a leader. Fuck, Punk can do it. Who gives a shit?
Yeah.
Fuck him. So they throw Punk in as leader.
Yeah.
It ultimately goes nowhere.
Yeah. I don't remember shit happening with Punk and Nexus.
The only thing I remember them doing
and it was pretty short, right?
He was trying to, like, make them prove to him that they were worthy of being in the Nexus, and so immediately, like, Gabriel, Slater were both like, yeah, fuck it, we're not doing this shit. So they left, and then you just get all the, like, B team to insulate Punk. And the only good thing about it was that that 1 year at Royal Rumble where they were all in and Punk was in and they just kept tossing dudes out, and they must have and that was the year that it was the 40-man Rumble.
Yeah,
and
it was Rumble 2011.
Yeah, and they must have just cleared out like 10 dudes, right? But then it just ultimately led to John Cena coming down, tossing them all out, and whatever, good shit. But you got your Husky Harrises, your David Otungas, your Michael McGillicuddies,
all the hits,
and your Mason Ryans.
Yep. Your Michaels Tarver.
No, he was already
No,
gone.
he was gone?
He was
Alright.
gone. It was just them. But, yeah, and then he started a feud with Orton.
Oh yeah, because they wrestled at Mania, right?
WrestleMania,
Yeah.
and then he...
And they did the finish that everyone expected, but it was still pretty cool.
Yes.
Then his contract was coming up,
And his contract was coming up.
and nothing interesting happened.
Yep. He just continued to wrestle
End
and
of discussion.
be a fun guy.
Yeah, so yeah, his contract was coming up, and everyone was legit talking about he was either going to not sign or take some time off, but at any rate, like, non-kayfabe, not wrestle at least for some amount of time. And then they said to Punk, hey, instead of taking a break, which you want to do, how about we turn it into an angle, and you win the title, and don't take a break. Are you okay? What happened to you?
You keep talking. Keep talking.
Did you read something that upset you?
I read something that upset me.
Well, does it involve this feud? Or the culmination? Oh, not really culmination, but the way this feud progressed?
Yep, kinda.
Okay. Well, all I was going to say was, yeah, so Punk obviously cuts a famous promo on Raw. Kind of shooty and whatnot, and some insider business in it. Leads to him versus Cena at Money in the Bank, which is pretty goddamn great. Meltzer gives it 5 stars, which means John Cena has more 5-star matches than Bryan Danielson, which frustrates me to no end.
Yeah.
But that's okay. And then, as part of the angle, Punk wins the title and leaves, because in kayfabe, he has not signed his contract. And then, from there, I feel like things go downhill in a hurry, angle-wise, because Punk is kayfabe gone, so they need to crown a new champion. I don't remember what happens, but I feel like Ray wins a tournament for it and then loses it to Cena the same night.
Yeah.
So that's weird and dumb. And then Cena's champion for... And I feel like, yeah, so Punk wins the title of the pay-per-view. They leave, so they crown the champion, I guess it's the next night? Maybe they wait a week?
I think it was the next night.
Like, yeah. And then Punk is back the next week?
Yep.
Like, Punk missed
Like
maybe...
he was never even gone.
Punk missed maybe one show.
Yeah, one Raw.
Yeah. And then is back, and then they need to unify the titles, so then they do that at SummerSlam, I guess?
I guess so.
Punk and Cena?
Yeah.
Yeah, because Money in the Bank was in July that year. And yeah, so they do that at SummerSlam, and then I guess Punk wins that in a less memorable match. And then things progress. I feel like at some point Alberto cashes in a Money in the Bank. Triple H gets involved. Kevin Nash gets involved.
Kevin fucking Nash.
This is what has you wringing
The phone call.
wringing your hands and gnashing
The
your teeth.
phone call.
The phone call.
Remember the phone call?
Do
That
I?
Hunter called him on his cell phone.
Right.
But like he didn't, and it made no sense.
Yeah, and basically what started as a really good promo that led to a 5-star match culminated in Triple H versus Kevin Nash. Because just fuck everything, right?
Because when Hunter's in charge of things, he can do whatever the fuck him and his buddies want.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
What a goddamn waste. So that's all going on. There's a lot of other stuff going on. John Cena is basically main eventing every pay-per-view, and nobody really notices, but CM Punk holds the world title for a year and a half.
Yep.
I remember at the time doing the numbers on it. I think while champion, he main evented like maybe 3 pay-per-views or something like that. It's something crazy. Like, he was never the main event.
No. Because he didn't give a fuck.
No. I remember one specifically. It would have been the May 2012 pay-per-view. I don't know what it was called.
Battleground. I really don't. Good
Yeah,
day.
it was the one after Extreme Rules, whatever it was. And the world title match was Punk versus Danielson, and it was great. However, the main event was John Cena versus John Laurinaitis. Because fuck you.
Couldn't tell you now.
Yeah. Who cares?
Yeah, I don't know.
But Punk quietly had the, as they say, which is accurate, the longest title reign of the what they call the modern era.
It was like the 5th longest since 1988 or something like that.
Oh no, it'd be the longest since Hogan. The longest since '88.
Yeah.
With Hogan's 84 to 88 one was was longer, but yeah, it was the longest since that. So yeah, the longest of the post WrestleMania 1 era. Because Hogan had a long one, Backlund had a long one, Sammartino. But yeah, of any most wrestling fans' lifetimes, Punk was the longest by far. Because I think the other longest one was Cena doing almost a year and then getting hurt.
Diesel?
Diesel was right on a year, in November to November. So I'm trying to think what Punk did. So after...
Got angry and quit?
We got there. Got
angry and quit the last time.
Yeah. So I guess we sort of covered 2011 where things started awesome and went completely off the rails, but he managed to stay champion. And then we get into 2012, and there was the Jericho feud, which we talked about a bit during the Jericho segment. It was him and Jericho at Mania, which was good. Then they had a good rematch at Extreme Rules. Then, as 2012 went along, I don't remember a lot. I know him and Cena did another one. Him and Cena had another one, maybe the show after SummerSlam, 2012, maybe Night of Champions, I think. He and Cena had to go to, I think it went to like a double pin off a German suplex or something.
Yeah.
But it was a good match.
Yeah.
And then moving along, Rock came back, had his first match in, I think it was 8.5 years, in a match that involved the Miz and R-Truth, in a weird footnote in history. And then Rock had to win the world title from Punk. In they did that? Was it the 1000th Raw? Yeah.
Yeah.
In summer 2012, and basically, Rock came back, said, "I'm going to win the title." Yeah, Rock declared he was challenging for it at the Rumble, which is some of the most foresighted booking they've done in a long time. Actually, everything they did with Rock was a year in advance, and everything else was 3 to 4 hours in advance.
Day of.
Yeah. And Punk turned heel on that show because he had gone basically that initial run in 2011 had turned him face because he was a heel going in.
Yeah.
That turned him face, and then he turned back heel on Rock, and then was heel for the second half of 2012. Then he had the match with Rock, lost it, had a rematch. I feel like both matches were kind of disappointing.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
but I think it was mostly Rock.
Yeah, well,
super ring rusty and
way too big.
Way too big.
Way
the
too
biggest
big.
Man alive.
He was big before,
Horse
but
meat
nothing.
And steroids.
Yeah, just doing his best Alexander Overeem impression.
Alistair.
Did I say Alexander?
Yeah.
I'm quite drunk. As I was saying, I'm like, this isn't right, but I don't know what the right thing is. Maybe no one will call me on it. Alistair Overeem.
Okay,
that's what I was thinking. And Punk is pretty pissed about this.
As he should be.
Has a 1.5-year title reign, loses to a guy who hasn't wrestled in a decade. Did not get anywhere near the main event of Mania the previous year while world champion. Wanted to get to the main event this year, WrestleMania, as world champion. Lost the title just before, but they do give him the Undertaker match. It's awesome.
Yeah.
It's it's Taker's last great Mania match, right?
Yep. Everything since has been buttholes.
Yes. I'm just going in my head. Buttholes.
Bray,
Buttholes.
Brock,
Bray, Brock, Shane. Or is there another one? Oh no, Brock, Bray, Shane. Just
Brock,
yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah. Yeah. All varying degrees of weird matches. Yeah. So, and Punk had the most, probably the most spitefully great performance ever, because like he was super pissed, and his way of showing how pissed he was trying to have the best match he possibly could to show he deserved to be in the main event. And they definitely had the best match on the show, right? I recall it actually not being a great show besides that, because it was the second Cena Rock, Triple H Goldberg. I wish it was Triple H Goldberg. Triple H Brock. Yeah, there might have been something else watchable on it, but I feel like it was not a great show besides Punk Taker.
Miz, Wade, Barrett, Shield versus Orton, Sheamus, Big Show.
Yeah, so far so good.
Mark Henry, Ryback, Team Hell No versus Ziggler and Big E, Fandango, Jericho, Del Rio, Jack Swagger.
Winner.
Taker, Punk, H-Bear and Brock, and Cena Rock.
Yeah, really not a good show besides...
Not a good show.
Punk Taker. Yeah, Punk Taker was excellent.
I couldn't tell you what the second best match on this show was.
I couldn't
Rock
either.
Cena?
I guess. Probably by default.
Yeah.
I don't know what Punk did for the rest of 2013. I guess he was sort of... He feuded with Trips a bit, because they were... Punk wanted more than anything to main event Mania the next year.
Yeah. Oh, he also did some stuff with Brock, too.
Oh, yeah. Punk Brock at SummerSlam was awesome, actually.
Yeah.
It was great.
Because they were Heyman guys, but they weren't buddies, and then they fucked, and then... What? Did that happen?
Yeah. Oh, and then we skipped over in 2012 when Punk was champion, Ryback was on an undefeated streak, Hell in a Cell came up, they had to wrestle, they were like, ugh, what do we do? Can't really put the title on Ryback, but...
We don't want to win. We don't want to lose the streak.
How do we protect the streak? I don't know. Let's have a random ref turn heel.
Yeah, let's have a random wrestler from NXT pretend to be a referee.
Yeah.
And
never really do anything.
Yeah,
that was cool. Anyways, so then so that rolls along, and then 2013's wrapping up, and then we're looking at Mania 30, a big one. And Punk wants the main event, and they're like, well, you can't main event, but you can have like a big match with Trips. And Punk is like, what the fuck does a match with Trips do for me? I want a main event. I want to say I main evented Mania. They're like, maybe next year. And he's like, fuck you forever. Basically, that's pretty much how it went down.
Yeah.
And that's the end of Punk's wrestling career. I'm going to say a decent chance of it being forever, more so than with a lot of other wrestlers, because I think he's a lot more stubborn than a lot of wrestlers.
I agree.
As it pertains to sticking to his guns.
I agree.
Yeah.
I feel like there isn't anything that could bring him back.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's not impossible that after UFC inevitably fails,
after his first fight, he loses and gets fired. Sure,
he could do New Japan.
Here's the thing: I think him going to New Japan is intriguing to anybody, especially him.
Yeah,
because you've got definitely like Okada, Shibata, Goto. There's guys there that he would have.
Yeah. And he could...
killer matches with.
And you would assume if he went there, they'd push him like they did AJ Styles.
AJ, they probably put the strap on him.
Yeah.
And he would definitely main event Wrestle Kingdom.
Yeah, and Punk Okada is intriguing, definitely. That's
amazing.
Cool. Yeah, so, I'd say that's not impossible. I'd say WWE is really unlikely ever.
I feel like it's...
unless it's like a Hall of Fame thing down the road when time has healed wounds and stuff. But that I'm talking like decades.
The thing is, I would say never say never.
Yeah, do never say never.
Because
he's a stubborn, angry dude.
He is. He's 100%. Like, he's kind of a prick.
He is
Now,
definitely
to be
kind of
fair,
a prick.
if everything he says is true, then
I'm gonna say, yeah,
he's allowed to be a stubborn
This is not
prick.
to say that he's unjustified in being angry. Like, it sounded like he was treated like shit a lot.
Yes.
Like,
He
I don't
was
know.
the number one guy, and he was never treated like he was anything more than a
I don't know if
main
there's ever been a champion, a guy who was champion for more than a year who is treated more like shit.
Yeah. 100%.
So, yeah. So that's how it goes.
I think for me, this is an interesting one because I think it's a tale of two wrestlers. Because I think when he moved to the E, and when he signed there, we were all like, well, they're going to fucking ruin him. They're not going to use him. They're not going to know how to do...
We were even surprised that they called him CM Punk.
Yeah, 100%. We thought they were going to give him some dumb name, dumb gimmick, and he'd be done, right? But I feel like the wrestler he was in the E was a completely different wrestler than what he was in Independence.
Yeah.
And I feel like I liked him better in the E than I did, like, that version of Punk, than I did as independent Punk. And I think he developed and became a way better performer for switching over. And he was also, like, a main star for, like, 5 years, 6 years.
Yeah.
So I think for me, it's the E.
Yeah, this applies to his entire wrestling career, but he is a guy who is, which it's almost sort of like John Cena, but in ways different. He's a guy who is awesome at every aspect of wrestling except the mechanics. Because, like, a lot of his stuff, it might just be his body, but a lot of his stuff is kind of weirdly sloppy. Like, his elbow drop when he started doing that, more often than not looked like trash.
Yeah.
And, like, some of his moves that, like, this was more of an indie move, but when he did the double underhook backbreaker, that often looked sloppy. And is the not the Pepsi Plunge, the Pepsi Twist, that like hammerlock clothesline deal.
Oh yeah.
That often looks sloppy. Like, a lot of his stuff looks sloppy, but like putting matches together, fucking great at it. Like, awesome wrestling mind.
Great psychology.
Yeah, and that's some of the difference between him and Cena. Like, the similarity is having great matches while not having great mechanics, although Punk has much better mechanics than Cena. But Punk also has definitely a better wrestling mind than Cena. Cena's just a good worker. But yeah, if Punk like looked like Batista and wasn't sloppy, he'd have been... Think how many years he'd have been champion for then.
Yeah.
if like he looked like a Vince guy.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But as far as better run, yeah, like I definitely enjoyed him on the Indies. Who doesn't want to see him and Chris Hero wrestle for 93 minutes? But yeah, I think he just had stronger stuff in WWE. I'd say my three, unless I'm missing something, my three favorite matches of his are all WWE, and two of them are in a very close time span. The Cena Money in the Bank match in 2011, and what's interesting was I did not see that match live. I watched it later, so I really enjoyed it, but I didn't quite have the full like live atmosphere for it. And then the Cena Raw match in a few weeks before Mania, like a month before Mania maybe, which I later watched them both in close proximity. I think the atmosphere aside, I think the Raw match is an actual better match than the Money in the Bank that got 5 stars, and then the Taker match a few weeks later. And I don't think he did anything on the Indies as good as those.
Right.
So, yeah, Punk WWE 2006 to 2014. R.I.P. Next.
This one might be easier. It is Claudio Castagnoli.
Claudio
Also,
Castagnoli.
don't call me Antonio Cesaro.
Remember when?
He got signed the first time?
Yeah, that's not what I was going to say,
No.
but I hope I don't forget what I was going to say, but I would not mind talking about when he got signed the first time. He got signed in 2006.
Yeah.
And at the time, he and Chris Hero were tag team champions of every independent fed in the world. And then in the span of a couple weeks, they had to go lose tag titles all over the country. Like PWG, ROH, Chikara, all that.
Yeah.
CZW. And then, yeah, he gets signed, leaves, then something happens, and then he's back on the indies real quick. I believe it was a weird visa issue.
It was because I didn't realize he wasn't American.
Yeah, why would Claudio Castagnoli not be American?
Vince honestly thought that he was an American dude.
Yeah.
And they signed him, and they were like, "Oh, you don't have like your visa is not right." So they're like, "Oh, well, fuck you."
Yeah, and then I guess he got his visa right, and then he got signed. What?
2011.
4 years later? 5 years later? 2011.
2011.
Yeah.
Rah.
So, yeah. So indie career.
Started in Europe.
Started in Europe.
Then kind of got discovered
made
by
his name
Quack.
and sort of made his name in Chikara and Mid-South to a degree.
Mid-South, yeah.
So yeah, so I don't know when he debuted. I'm gonna say like 2002, 3.
2000. December 2000.
Okay. So yeah, then like no one really saw much of his stuff. I would say till probably 2000 into 2004 when he started doing some Chikara.
Yep. 2003.
3?
July 2003.
Okay.
At the Tag World Grand Prix.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, that was really his like North American introduction, and so yeah, so carried on. I remember having a super strong 2006 teaming with Hero as Kings of Wrestling.
Yeah.
And then started getting used more in Ring of Honor. Had some stuff with Danielson. Had some stuff with Generico that was really good. They had like a him and Generico tournament final in 2007. Started getting used well in PWG. And then
Bruderschaft.
Bruderschaft des Kreuz.
Cruises.
However you pronounce it. Yeah, the Chikara German faction, which was fun and led to a good Cybernetico. And then he and Hero started reteaming.
So good.
He and Hero started reteaming in ROH in 2010.
Yeah, something like that.
And had a bunch of good stuff, and they were champs for a while.
March.
And they had stuff with like the Briscoes, Haas and Benjamin, Motor City,
Syrian Portal.
Syrian Portal, if you will.
Team Japan.
Yep. So yeah, a lot of good
I was
and
literally just reading it off the Wikipedia page. But
yeah, thanks. Yeah, so like quite the varied stuff. So yeah, so as far as stuff, a lot of people have seen. Yeah, so we're sort of looking at 7 to 8 years of stuff there, 2003-ish to 2010, 11. And then so actually less time in WWE, 2011, and that'd be, your, I guess, FCW. And then he debuted in 2012.
Yep.
And is the most sporadically pushed guy in recent memory.
Yeah. Oh, that's an understatement.
The most, stop and start bullshit.
Give him some stuff to do. Okay, he's got nothing. Give him something to do.
Yeah.
Okay, fuck him. Just to go over,
Real frustrating.
He was 2-time Chikara Tag Champ. He was the first ever Trios Tag Champ. He had the PWG title, and he was a 2-time Ring of Honor champion. Tag champion.
Tag champion, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, never won the ROH World title. It could have.
Coulda,
at
woulda,
some point,
shoulda.
but did not.
Goes to the E.
Goes to the E.
Pretty...
Oh, what I was going to say before the first signing talk. Remember when him and Jack Swagger were the Real Americans?
Yep.
And they had sweet-ass track jackets.
Yep.
And did Jax to say Jack? Or
Hoss.
Hoss, that's right. And Cesaro said, Big Tony.
Big Tony.
The best.
Big Tony and Hoss.
Why did they never call him Big Tony other than the jacket?
I don't know.
But anyway,
Really
that just made me smile.
Yeah, he definitely... Man, I mean... When they were doing the big swing thing, and they thought it was going to be the King of Swing, it was going to be a big thing, and then, 2 months later, forget it.
Yeah.
Not a big deal. And then Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, you're like, oh, this is going to be this huge thing.
Like, big thing.
Gonna
It's going to be
put
the
him-
next guy who gets pushed every year who wins this Battle Royal. Nope.
Not true. The thing is, when he came in, he did almost immediately, or not, maybe not, yeah, pretty close, win the U.S. title.
Yes.
And held it for a while.
Yeah, a pretty decent amount of time.
And then he dropped it, and then they did the Real Americans,
Yep.
which ultimately went nowhere.
Yep.
And then even the breakup was weird. And then he feuded with Jack Swagger, which was an awesome way to use Claudio.
Totally. And that was right after he won the Battle Royal,
Yep.
because that's when the Real Americans were breaking up. So
Yeah. And then he did end up winning the tag team titles with Tyson Kidd.
Yeah.
But then of course Tyson almost died. Yeah. And then ever since he's really just kind of been like up and down. Like they didn't even the thing for me too is like they didn't even put him in the like title picture. Even now.
He was for one day.
Yeah.
When he came back from like 4 or 5 months of injury, the day after Mania this year, and they put him in the 4-way for number 1 contenders, and it was really good, and he did awesome, but he didn't win, and since then, yeah, has had not had a sniff at the title.
And now he's doing a best of 7 with Sheamus.
Because you gotta do something.
Yeah, because both of them need something to do. You can't just fire Sheamus.
Yeah.
And
As
put
we've said-
Cesaro in fucking Roman's position.
As we've said before, Sheamus, the man who is... oh, you just destroyed your
No, that's fine.
That did not sound good. Sheamus, the man who has gotten more chances, despite his level of overness, than, I don't know, anyone in history.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, I don't know, I feel like this one's a lot easier.
When you first said it, I was like, I think this is harder than Punk. I think Punk was more obviously WWE, and Claudio had, like, a really strong indie career. But, like, looking at it and talking about it, I think it is just easier, or just as easy. Unless you're talking about the other way. What? Are you talking indie?
What?
It's easy in what direction for you? Maybe we're on totally different pages here.
I don't know, are we?
I think WWE.
Okay.
Do you?
I think Indies?
You do.
Because I feel like he hasn't done anything in the E.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so we are, okay.
Because he was...
Jesus.
You're breaking things.
Broke a table.
He was considered one of the best wrestlers in the Indies.
For sure, yeah.
He was in one of the most dominant, like, sought-after tag teams in the Indies.
Yeah.
Wrestled for every major promotion. You know, and, like, literally had some of the most ridiculous matches in the history of wrestling against Mike Quackenbush. Whereas in WWE, I feel like outside of the Tyson Kidd tag team and maybe a little bit of what he was doing with this whole, like, James Bondy type thing, he's kind of just gotten lost in the shuffle. Sure, he's had good matches, like his stuff, the thing with Sami Zayn in NXT, which I count towards WWE.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
You know, and, like, he's done some cool matches.
Yeah.
But I think ultimately, like, you look at him and you're like, oh, he's, like, not doing anything again. And, like, oh, no, he's feuding with Sheamus.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah, no, and yeah, that sucks, although besides the aforementioned Danielson Sheamus match from 2012. Cesaro's probably given Sheamus his best matches over the years. But yeah, certainly booking-wise, yeah, he's just gotten shafted so many times, and like if he was booked as a top guy, this would probably be a pretty easy discussion. Had he also been having good matches, but he's totally been booked like shit. But I think, as is the case with a lot of people, be it as a result of just like progressing with their career or going to WWE and like assimilating your style with theirs and becoming more complete. I definitely think in WWE he's a better overall wrestler than to some degree. Obviously, he was. I don't want to take away from the indie run because he was great on that, but I do think he's more of a complete package as a wrestler now. And in terms of his top matches, I think a lot of them have been in WWE/NXT versus indies. There have been some great indie matches, but like in WWE he had I think 3 major matches with Sami Zayn, all of which were great.
Yep.
He had the Regal match in NXT,
Oh yeah,
which was great. He had I think where he lost the U.S. title the first time to Kofi Kingston was actually an excellent match. He had there's a Danielson match in 2013 on Raw. That was great. There was the Cena match on Raw in 2014.
Yeah.
And then the back-to-back Cena matches on Raws in 2015, which were awesome. And I thought almost every bit as good as that Punk Cena Raw match. Like all of the Cesaro Cena matches were almost on the level of that the Punk Cena match from 2013, which like are all in like the discussion for like top 10 matches in the history of Raw, probably. So, which again, not to take away from the indie stuff, he's got the Generico match, a lot of stuff in PWG. Him and Ricochet in Bola 2010 had a killer match.
I think you're forgetting one thing.
Oh, what am I forgetting?
Mysterious Ice Cream.
Yes, he also had a strong run as Mysterious Ice Cream in Chikara. Yeah, and like lots of fun stuff in Chikara. Crazy Quackenbush matches. A lot of good ROH stuff. He had there's a Danielson feud in ROH. Yeah, so it is tough.
Sorry. Didn't he feud with Tyler Black?
Yep, they had some matches, and yep, they were really good too. So, yeah. If I had to vote right now, I'd vote WWE, but I could be easily swayed in another direction.
I think
you
some leg?
Yes, please show me some leg. So, and it sounds like you feel more strongly for indie than I feel for WWE.
Probably.
So,
moving on. The next one, I feel like it might be a strong one way.
There's one coming up later that I think is easy. I don't know if it's this one.
This one would be the previously just mentioned Tyler Black,
okay,
also known as Seth Rollins, also known as Colby Lopez.
Colby.
So...
It's not the easy one I was thinking of. It'll come. Tell me about him.
Well, he's a wrestler. He's of Armenian and Hispanic descent.
Are either of those true?
Both correct.
Really?
Absolutely.
He does actually look like that. I just didn't know He had...
Trust me, I'm well up on my Tyler Black.
So, like, half of him wears gold chains and too much Drakkar Noir?
Yep.
Okay.
Only half.
And the other half buys too many lottery tickets.
He... Give me a second.
I will, but only a second.
Yeah. He started wrestling in 2005.
Yep, in Mid-South, I guess.
In
right?
Mid-South,
Yep.
yeah. Then he... When he was a child,
Yep.
he wrestled for FIP.
Yep, he did wrestle for FIP.
Did some FIP stuff.
I remember very early in Mid-South, he was in a team with Merrick Brave called the Black and the Brave.
Okay.
And I always confused them because they looked a little bit alike, and also both of their first names and both of their last names had 5 letters, and that really fucked me up.
That's yeah. I just realized that right now. That's weird.
Really fucked me up. I'm like, are they the same person?
And then Brave had a very bad injury, and he had to retire.
And fucked off.
So then Black became a singles wrestler, and he went to PWG. Did a bunch of stuff in PWG.
He had pre-PWG, or around the time he started there, had a feud with friend of the show Josh Abercrombie in Mid-South over the light heavyweight title. And by friend of the show, I mean a guy we wrestled with in 2004.
Yep. Clearly listening.
Yeah. But then, did PWG, in PWG and some other indies formed the Do It For Her tag team with Jimmy Jacobs, / Age of the Fall in Ring of Honor.
That's a guy I should have put on my list.
Oh, as hate?
I fucking hate Jimmy Jacobs.
He has his weaknesses. Cocaine.
Back to Age of the Fall. Bunch of fucking emo fags. Is that what their gimmick was? They were emo fags?
One was emo, one was hardcore.
Sorry.
Jimmy was emo, Tyler was hardcore.
Whatever.
Yeah.
I'm sorry that I...
Get your scenes right, man.
I feel like I really offended Dan right now.
You probably did.
Sorry, Dan.
It's a shame he'll never listen to this because he's not on it.
That's true. He's dead.
I'm going to feel bad when he actually dies in Portland today.
They did their feud with the No Remorse Corpse.
the corpse that feels no shame or guilt. It is a remorseless corpse. I guess that's what a zombie is a no remorse corpse.
The Hangman 3.
Oh, the worst stable in the history of wrestling?
Brent Albright, PJ Whitmer, and... Don't tell me.
I won't. It just came to me.
Brent Albright, PJ Whitmer.
He also sucks. He also sucks. Just think of someone that
Adam
sucks.
Pearce?
Yep, there you go. He also sucks. Always the perfect clue for Adam Pearce.
Yeah, I was trying to think. I'm like, there was a bald guy in that group.
Yep.
Yeah, they suck.
Yeah, but
That's
kudos to ROH, where I guess the best case scenario, don't book them. But if you have to book them as a stable. So we only have to skip 1 match per show instead of 3.
Yep.
So kudos.
Correct.
Yeah, that was during the weird too many stables phase of Ring of Honor, because there was No Remorse Corps, Hangman 3, fucking Vulture Squad with Ruckus, Jack Evans, and Unmasked Jigsaw.
Yeah.
What the fuck was that team?
I don't know.
So weird.
I don't know. Oh, the Vulture Squad. That's such a dumb fucking name.
I fear there was a lot of flapping of arms and vulture sounds. Stupid. 2007 ROH was an awkward transition phase.
So he won the 2009 Survival of the Fittest tournament, which earned him a match at Final Battle.
For the title?
For the title.
That he did not
win. He did not win. A 60-minute
60
time
draw.
limit draw with Austin Aries.
It wasn't good. and everyone wanted Tyler to win, and he didn't, and they were pissed. And then by the time he did win, people were sort of over it.
Yeah. They
were all wearing Dolph Ziggler gear that said over it.
Over it. They wrestled at the 8th anniversary show in February.
And he won it there? I think he won it there. But it was...
No, they did some garbage where it was like, Aries picks a guy, Tyler Black picks a guy, they wrestle each other, and whoever wins, then blah, blah, blah. Roderick Strong had to beat Kenny King.
Okay.
And if Roderick Strong won, then Tyler Black got a title match, in which Tyler Black promised Roderick Strong the first title defense.
Okay.
And Kenny King was representing Aries, and if he won, then he didn't have to face a rematch. Okay. Tyler Black. Don't know why that's a fucking thing.
It's a thing.
Anyways, Tyler Black won.
Yeah.
And then held the title for 9 years.
That seems high.
It was 9 years. He signed with the E in August.
Yeah. And then he had to drop it.
He dropped it in September.
Dropped it to Roderick?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No DQ match. Terry Funk is guest enforcer.
Right.
He held the title for 210 days. Then he signed with E. Went to Deep South.
Right.
Or FCW. Whatever.
FCW, yeah.
Then...
became the first NXT
champion.
In, was that 2012? 2012. Beating Jinder Mahal in a tournament final.
Well,
Jinder Mahal's only good match ever.
Wouldn't you?
Wouldn't I have beat Jinder Mahal in a tournament final?
Yeah.
Yes, I would.
Yeah, exactly. So fucking get over it.
I'd be happy to.
Then they decided to call it the Shield.
Yeah. Was he champion when the Shield debuted?
Let's see what it says
on
he
was.
The Wikipedia.
He definitely was.
He lost it in January 9th episode of NXT.
Yeah. Shield,
to Big E.
Shield debuted at Survivor Series, had their first match in December.
Yeah.
So he was doing both for a bit.
With Fat Dean Ambrose.
As opposed to very, emaciated Dean Ambrose now.
Yeah. Who doesn't give a fuck and
is champion.
And is super, I'm really off-put by him now from that whole Austin thing.
Yeah.
So anyways, they came in, they immediately started to wreak havoc.
They made us like Roman Reigns.
They made us kind of like Roman Reigns. They beat up Ryback.
Imagine if the third guy on the Shield had been Chris Hero like Punk wanted.
Yeah. Do you think he would have been able to stay skinny? Because I don't think he would have.
Nope.
I think he would have got called up and he would have immediately blown up like he did. I never understood how he can be the fattest man. I really don't. Once you get skinny, wouldn't you want to stay skinny? Or was it spite fat?
It's too hard. And spite fat.
Anyways.
He wrestled for 3 hours fat. He did that marathon thing in Ontario.
Yeah. They started feuding with, Team Hell No.
Hell No.
And Ryback.
Rhodeses.
The Rhodeses.
It's a really good match. Him and Rollins and Reigns had some really good tags against the Rhodes.
Yeah. Then they sort of teamed with Punk, but then sort of turned on Punk.
Yeah.
And then they feuded with Cena, Ryback, and Sheamus. Then Ryback, Sheamus, Jericho. And then they kind of feuded with Big Show and Orton. And they faced him at WrestleMania.
Yeah, in a waste of a Shield match.
Then, they kind of didn't do a whole lot of anything for a while. And then they turned... lost the tag titles to...
Rhodeses.
The Rhodeses.
Yeah.
Who won their freedom back. And then, not a lot happened. And then...
Wyatt's?
Yes.
And
that is
so good.
Majorly overachieved.
Can you believe that a match could be that good that contained Roman Reigns and Eric Rowan?
No, but it was.
That
feud was really good.
So good.
There was tons of great stuff in
And what was really cool was because they had they had the match. They had the first match at Elimination Chamber, which is February. They teased the match like 3 months before. I remember they did like a stare down that at the time didn't go anywhere.
No.
On Raw in like later, like November? December.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then and obviously they were planning for it, and then it was fucking great when they did it, and I do not know for the fucking life of me why they did not do some sort of gimmick rematch at Mania.
Good.
Because that would have been 1,000,000 times better
Then what happened?
Yeah, because
Can you remember what happened?
Was it a squash that involved the New Age Outlaws?
And Kane.
And Kane.
Yes.
Yeah. Why?
Because why not?
The Shield, because the Shield did 2 Manias as the Shield, right? Yeah. And both were just like pretty useless.
Yeah. One was Orton,
Sheamus, Big
Show.
Yeah. So, such a waste of what they were obviously always planning to be a big team, and were a big team by 2014.
Then they feuded with
Evolution,
and
which
was
2 good matches.
Good, yeah, like
yep.
Especially considering one of them was Batista.
Yeah, and another one was Triple H.
Yep.
And another one is Roman Reigns.
And then in June,
split.
Rollins turned heel.
Yep.
And turned on the other 2.
Yeah.
And then
won Money in the Bank.
Completely took off.
Yeah.
Immediately became like a heel that everybody fucking hated. Yeah. Like not his work ethic or his in-ring abilities, but just like,
as a heel.
Because he's kind of a whiny bitch.
Yeah, he got heel heat.
And he was super fucking over as a heel.
Yeah. Feuded with Ambrose?
Feuded with Ambrose, feuded with...
was going to feud with Reigns, but then Reigns got hurt.
Going to feud with Reigns, but he got hurt. Then he got J&J Security.
That's right.
Then he had, let's see here. They did like TLC where he faced Cena.
Yes. Sort of remember that.
Yeah.
I definitely remember the next month, him Cena Brock 3-way, which was fucking awesome.
Yep. Which was really fucking good. Then he started a war with Jon Stewart.
Yeah.
And then he wrestled Orton at Mania.
Best finish of all time.
Best finish of all time.
Look, I don't like Randy Orton.
Okay.
Fair?
Fair. Also could put him on that list.
I have liked 2 things he has done ever. I liked the Christian feud, and I liked this. This is legit one of the best and most perfectly executed, high degree of difficulty finishing spots I've ever seen.
Yep.
I don't care how many times they practiced it to get it right. It was perfect. It was awesome. Good for Seth Rollins and Randy Orton. Great fucking spot.
Yep.
Legit all-time great spot. And then that was all Seth Rollins did at that Mania.
Yep. Nothing else happened.
No.
Definitely didn't win the world title.
I don't know if people have ever been more psyched to see a quote-unquote heel, quote-unquote ruin a match.
Yeah, 100%.
Like,
ruin an amazing match.
Yeah. Like, somehow, Brock versus Roman, which, like, everyone was pretty bummed about being the main event of WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Hugely overachieved as it was going along. And then people like, well, this is sure a hell of a lot better than I expected, but fucking Roman's still going to win the title at the end of the day. And then fucking Seth Rollins comes out with Money in the Bank, cashes in, and wins, and it's the best.
It's the best send home.
It's so
with
good.
With a heel winning the title, it is the best
You can't
send
find
home.
me a better heel winning at WrestleMania moment ever. You can't find me a better heel winning at a pay-per-view anywhere. Like, it's perfect. It's so good. And I don't know if I call that. I remember in the back of my mind a while before Mania saying, never had a guy cash in at Mania. They should do that sometime. And then they did, and it was the best.
And then it happened.
So good. And then had the world title for a good chunk of 2015. Was not booked well at all.
Well, I mean,
in terms of wins and losses.
He feuded with Kane.
Feuded with Kane, feuded with Cena.
Lost 29 matches?
Yeah, I know during some stretch of his world title reign in the summer, he went 1-18. His only win was the SummerSlam match, and he lost 18 matches around it.
Yeah, that's right.
Which is not great for a world champion.
I mean, it's not horrible.
No.
He won one.
It's middling.
He didn't go 0-19.
No, that would be ridiculous.
1-18. It's better.
Yeah. That's fair. So, yeah. But it had some good matches with Cena along the way. And then, everyone leading up to this year's Mania got hurt.
Yep.
And has
no one's allowed to wrestle at WrestleMania this year.
Has just recently come back and has been pretty good so far.
And wrecked the man's life.
And wrecked the man's life.
And then started a feud with Bret Hart.
I think Bret Hart started the feud with him.
Yeah, fair.
But, yeah, so that's what's going on with Seth Rollins. So, Seth Rollins, best run, FCW, done.
Sure.
I'm
First champion.
picking the very narrow, just 2011 Seth Rollins. So yeah, your thoughts.
I think
your feelings.
I think the E is the easiest choice.
I think it is. I think he had
major champion, kind of the face for a little bit, but then got hurt in a garbage match against the Garbage Man.
Yes. Yeah, he had some really good stuff in sort of the second half of his run in ROH when he was kind of a main event guy. I remember two matches in particular. It was a four-way: Danielson, Claudio, Tyler Black, and
Ruckus.
I'm blanking on the fourth person. I think it was for the title, but
Rhett Titus.
You are not helping. Anyway, he was involved in a good
one
four-way
of the
somewhere
members
there.
of War Machine.
Yeah, in 2008 or 9. And they did a tag him and Danielson against the American Wolves, which was really good. And he actually had quite a match with Davey Richards, who is not my cup of tea. But
Who hits real hard.
But yeah, they had a really good match, and I feel like Meltz gave that 4 3/4. But yeah, overall, even kind of the Shield run alone almost gives it to him just on that. But
Yeah, I
then
think so.
factor in a lot of good single stuff
And
after
the
that.
title and
And the title, and even that Rumble 2015 and his small but integral part in WrestleMania, I think gives it the edge. So, Jesus Christ, table shattered into a million pieces, but we carry on because we're professionals. Tyler Black, WWE run 2011 to present.
we're anything but professional. Fucker.
It was terrifying what happened with the table just now.
Yeah, I'm scared. Well, I think we're going to have to do this in 3 parts.
How many do we have left? We're going to take a quick break and be back with part 3 of the family-sized feed bag that is this podcast.